ESL One is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus, and Pay Safeguard.
Welcome back to ESL One Katowice 2019. It is the end of day 2, but don't fear. If you've just joined us, you're a bit late, but we've still got one more game to go, so you'll enjoy that at the very least, and you can also catch up on all the VODs, of course, so we won't spoil it too much. However, if you are tuned in right now and you're not interested in what's going on the other streams, mute right now, because we're going to give you a quick update. Good? Are you muted? Good. Right now, NIP facing against Chaos are 1 game up, and Asta have the lead against Alliance in the other game. That's the battle at the bottom of Group B right now, where both of them have 1 game apiece. It's vital that one of those wins both games to give themselves a really decent shot of making it through to the brackets. Remember, the top 4 are the only teams in both groups that do make it into our bracket to play. Fnatic are definitely already there. The only question is whether they go through top or in second place right now, because they've reached the magical number of 7 wins out of 7. Looking to make it 8 out of 8 as they move into this next game against compLexity. Although they gave them a decent game in the first game, the question we posed to our panel members, Blitz and Purge, is can compLexity pull off yet another miracle, which is what they're going to have to do, Will, isn't it, if they're going to take any further part in this this tournament, you'd fancy. They could still get through tomorrow with the results going the right way, but they'd have to rely on other people doing it. So they need this point right now to keep them in touch.
Yeah, I think as a competitor, your least favorite thing is hoping that everybody else fails instead of just trying to bank on your own success. Yeah. Being able to walk away with at least a win over the top-seeded team so far in the tournament would be huge for them. Fnatic's the only team that hasn't dropped a game here at this tournament. I think this would just be, not even for advancing further, but just for your morale.
Sure.
Being able to say, like, okay, like at least we're sort of close to where we need to be. Going 1-1 isn't the best result, but at the same time, like, you just need wins at this point.
Yeah. How much motivation, Kevin, do you think they've got internally and kind of knowledge about what happened yesterday? Because they played down IP yesterday and we'd already written them off. We'd gone home. We said it, they were 20k gold down, they're probably going to lose that game. They came back and won it. It was the last one of the night. And I remember Miracle saying earlier on to Shiva that it was very important for them to win that final game of the night because it gave them some positivity overnight and it allowed them to come back in a bit more positive today. Same result, really, effectively. The same thing happens here.
And it's also really good that it was a team that is seen as very good. I mean, they've got TI winners on it, they've got TI second placers on it, they're very talented. Getting that win is going to be something they can think of yesterday, or at least today, as they play hard matches. And just at least have something to push towards. That way it doesn't just feel like we're just barely in the tournament. It can feel like that, and we could reach a little bit higher and maybe learn from that and become a better squad.
Ironically, if Alliance come back and win their second game against Asta, that leaves Alliance, Asta, and compLexity all on 2 wins, basically, if compLexity lose this game. So they're still mathematically in it, but they're relying on other results then, and then hopefully they win on their final day. They've got Asta themselves tomorrow, so maybe they don't need to win this game, but it would be a massive win, wouldn't it, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, just for morale, because we have said, like, sometimes it looks like they really don't belong, and at least this would be 1 step closer to that. Right. Being able to say, like, maybe this is a turning point moment for them as well. We've seen that happen before. A team figures out a win. They're like, okay, well, now we're starting to figure out what wins for us. We're not just doing it against these, like, easier wins. We're doing it against some of the top teams. That makes you feel a lot better. Like, for example, DC, yeah, they went 4-0 against what we would consider the bottom of the group, but today they've gone 0-4 now that they have to play some of the better teams.
Yep, absolutely. Chaos have won down in that match against NIP as well. So it's funny how a different day can be a completely different set of results. We said yesterday 4-0 could easily turn into 4-4 today, and it kind of feels prophetic now. But we shall focus right now on the draft for Fnatic versus compLexity. As you can see, we've already got 2 picks on either side, a Shaman and a Jug for Fnatic, so nothing out of the ordinary for them. And likewise, compLexity opening up again with this Phoenix Brew. Kevin, you spotted quite a few openers like this over the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's the last month, really. Just seems like a comfort pick. It's super strong team fight wise. Yeah. There's lots of different ways that you can protect the Phoenix Egg. You could use one guy or Cyclone him and then stun the other one. So if you take 2 people out of the fight hitting the egg, usually there's not more than 3 attacking the egg. So could be a good way to protect it. lane-wise, it's going to be pretty effective as well. They just kind of lane together well, and they're also flexible. So I think it's a good combo. It's maybe something they're comfortable with, maybe something they feel like we can work a long game out, we can get a team fight win, that kind of a play style.
Yeah, they eked out that win against NIP yesterday. It was a 60-minute game. Do you feel like they need a longer game?
Possibly. In that game, they had Naga Siren, they had Enigma, they had Undying. That's all pretty good team fight. Pugna as well. Lots of things to attack. So could be what they need. There is a lot of disable on the enemy team though. Fnatic opens with Shadow Shaman, which is just it's a good combo hero. It's like a classic DJ hero. It gets a lot of farm just with Ether Shock. You can transition to getting like Refresher Orbs or Refresher Shards. You can just lock down heroes like Phoenix and Brew and try to burst them down and guarantee easy fights and kills.
So they banned out the Void and the Naga. So Fnatic they've telegraphed the opener. They understand. They know what compLexity like.
Especially getting rid of the Naga Siren from Miracle. That guy has been absolutely deadly with that hero since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Like when Radiant's Naga was first really popular, he was definitely one of the players that made the hero look ridiculous.
And a Pango ban, that's a nice little bit of respect for Mr. Ice.
The hero was ridiculous.
Oh, I like that Wyvern.
And Timber as well, yeah.
Why Wyvern? Just because of Jug?
Yeah, it's nice against Jug, but it's also nice against Shaman. Like the wards, being able to counter all the channeling spells like your shackles with the Winter's Curse.
It's also kind of like a counter push too, like super safe counter push. So if the creeps are dead, the wards are focused anyways.
They got the Fire and Ice.
Yep.
Pick Chikiro then.
Yep. That would add more Fire and Ice.
Negative. Don't pick Chikiro.
As much as I would hate to disagree with you, Will, I think you're right now. It's not in a good place, I have to tell you.
It's not that bad.
It's not
a
good,
top tier hero.
Kevin.
What? It's not a top tier hero, but it's fine.
Not good.
Let's just
got attack range at level 10 now. You can
it's still
land liquid fire without dying.
It's actually been picked 18 times here. That's not bad.
Get out.
It has not been picked 18 times, where it's been picked 5 times and it's lost all of them.
That must have been qualifiers.
Does it include the falls?
As well, if you're looking at
I see.
Yeah,
so only 5
on this week.
Only 5. Wow.
I think it's been up to yesterday. It was 5 times and it had lost all 5.
I see.
That does. All right, it's picked though. There's a lot worse.
That was yesterday. Today,
I'm just saying
Zero.
There's a lot worse things you can say about a hero than.
Where my boy Storm at?
he was 2 and 3, I think.
2?
He's 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 out of 3. Yeah.
Not great.
No. I mean, the one game we saw on the mainstream, he did get bodied on that game, didn't he? You commentated on that. He played with a CM. And it looked on Baby, it looked all right, didn't it?
It was okay.
Yeah. Wasn't a great Storm game, but it wasn't a bad Storm game. But he got bodied in that game.
I like the Earthspirit pick here by Fnatic. It's maybe the DJ hero after all, but very solid hero for roaming around. Chain disables, like all these all the disables they have are going to be good against Wyvern.
Yeah.
All 3 of those heroes.
I would imagine this is a Jab's spirit though, because the Shaman is exclusively a DJ hero in this Fnatic team, and it's most picked over the last month.
Is it always him? They're both so good at it. Let me see.
I can't believe Ursa hasn't lost a game yet.
That's crazy, isn't it? 7 out of 7.
I think it got nerfed just enough where players they just don't pick it consistently, so now they only pick it when it's really good.
Yeah.
When they know they'll have melee matchups.
There's a nervous hair twiddler. It's the coach.
It's nerve-wracking being in that position.
Kips, looking on, obviously trying to help out. Giving her wisdom to the compLexity boys. She's a super smart Dota brain, by the way.
It looks like they swap who plays it.
Yeah, they do mess around the Earth Spirit, but when DJ plays the Shaman, usually if they play the Earth Spirit, then Jabs will take it at the same time.
Okay. Not necessarily. It just seems like if there's a hero that DJ would rather play or something.
Yeah.
That's on Lone Druid.
Same day they both played it once.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely both play. It's in their top 3 most played, both of them Earth Spirit. It's just the Shaman isn't really a Jabs hero. He has one game in it, I think, in the last month.
He played one 18 days ago.
Yeah.
What's like an OD Lone Druid matchup like? Because we saw it a couple times at We Play, and some games the Lone Druid wrecked. Maybe it was roaming, but it felt like okay for Lone Druid.
I mean, it's not bad because you have 2 ways to CS, right? And that's always one of the more effective ways to play against OD. Like part of the problem with playing against OD in lane is always the fact that you just get astraled out. You have no way of CSing. That's why, like, for example, the Lycan yesterday when Quakefoot played it against NIP, he was able to keep up with Fada and CS. And they banned Batrider.
Yeah, well, the CK's not banned here, is it?
Yeah, for some reason it's been ignored this series.
Yeah, and they do have an opening on Fnatic if they want to do that.
10 seconds.
For Ice Ice Ice.
If that hero feels a little too
5 seconds
uncomplex.
remaining.
Yeah.
Not complex enough for
Yeah.
Ice Ice.
Yeah. He does play it a lot. Well, not a lot, but he has played it. Haven't seen him on a Tide this event, have we?
No.
I feel like we've seen him on a Tide.
Have we?
And the other one he's played a lot is the Centaur, which is also not banned right now.
Centaur's not bad.
Yeah, fits, doesn't it?
I think you just need more run at you heroes to frontline for the OD.
Which the Centaur works.
Yep. So there's
Their
a tie.
wish is their command.
Nice call, Paul.
Well, it fits both, right? Run at you hero.
Yeah.
Ice Ice Tide Hunter.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah, I
team
don't think he
fight
has
heroes.
played it at all this tournament, but it did sort of fit. The Ursa finally getting a respect ban at the end of the bans.
Yeah, it would be tied too much in lane. It's kind of good against Stroke too,
Yeah.
10
potentially.
seconds remaining.
Oh, they take Drow.
Ooh, Drow Druid.
So they'll probably put Drow mid versus. I guess they don't have to put him mid versus OD, but it would make like a rangeland Druid build really effective.
She's always historically been picked as a counter to Tide, because the thing about Tide is it's really hard for him to have a decent laning phase against her. Tide's like a really slow hero when you think about how Ravage works. Like that's your one team fight ability, whereas like Drow doesn't really rely on anything to go for pushes, right? Like if you lose a fight or your fight isn't successful with the Ravage, then she'll just push down all your towers.
Yep, gonna be careful on that one. What do you make of that draft from both teams, Kevin?
The Drow definitely caught me a little off guard, but it does kind of facilitate like tower pushing and getting stuff done in between team fights, because their lineup is like so team fight based that it didn't feel like they had a whole lot of damage. But if you pair something like Drow that has relatively high damage no matter what with a lot of team fight lineups, then she should be able to get the space to just auto attack a lot, which might make the difference.
Okay, would they have been better off with a sniper doing the same thing? Will?
Sniper's kind of bad.
Sniper's
I'll,
bad.
I'll jump
Still
in
bad.
there.
All right.
I like him, but he's
Yeah.
not good, I don't think.
Okay. Well, what about the other side of the fence in terms of the draft? That's a pretty standard Fnatic kind of looking draft, isn't it?
Yeah, you have ways to hit towers because you pick the Jug. Good team fight overall. You give DJ some sort of playmaker. I like their draft. I think it's well rounded.
Okay. Time to get into our second and final game of the night in this particular series. Of course, Fnatic on the verge of going 8-0, or can compLexity peg them back with yet another fight back at the last? Let's find out as we head to game number 2.
It's always that fun question. Can Fnatic continue to win? Would be the easiest question of the world. Of course, they're going up against compLexity's Drow Ranger. Let's bring in a Drow Ranger, because Drow Ranger never fails.
Well, it's more, I think, that they had to do something a bit different. Fnatic is...
You mean by opening with a Phoenix
there's-
first pick?
There's certain heroes that change the game of Dota into a Hero X game, like Meatbow, Brood, Huskar, Drow. So instead of trying to play straight up against Fnatic, they now at least have this compLexity as a win condition. They have a method with which they could theoretically just hit a critical mass and become unstoppable.
Is this... Yeah, okay. No, it's okay. Limp was walking under the cover of smoke, and he was about to walk into 4 heroes who now smoke to go and chase him.
And they'll probably do the exact same thing, right? Yeah.
If they stay on top of the hillside, which they don't, they're inching forward and no smoke break.
Yeah, so
All backed off.
And I actually think more so than Drow against Tide, it's so good against OD specifically and Jug, because these heroes are just, they feed to silence. And sure, they'll get BKB, they'll get Manta, but
Oh,
Oh,
3-4-3. Wait, hang on.
Oh.
They wrapped around. They want to go for the
Miracle!
Druid, and Miracle's the primary target. He was nearby. There was no scouting. The rolling boulder forward. Miracle is going to go down.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up, I had a feeling, this is what makes the Fnatic support duo so deadly. Is that, yeah, DJ is an incredible Earth Spirit, right? But Jabs plays it too. And he's arguably the second or third best Earth Spirit in the region. And DJ's now free to play his 4-position Shadow Shaman, which he's probably the best in the world at. Certainly the one that plays the hero the most. But hey, we'll see. Complexity, if you get some tempo going, like the panel was talking about, big team fight and tons of tower pressure and physical damage output. They just need to get accelerating fast. You want a fast level 6 on Brew, on Phoenix, and you look to get things done.
I don't know how you stand up in this top lane, however, Miracle, okay, he'll be able to resummon the bear now, but this is a brand new, fresh bear. They'll have to send the Wyvern to the north. And Fnatic, they want to fight again, but they want to go after the lone Druid. They want initiation onto him, so they see him for a moment. Miracle's bear is the only thing that's stopping Jabs from just rolling, bouldering forward. But they want Druid to come out. Give him the confidence. Okay, no, Jabs just wants to TP out. He's looking to bottom lane instead towards Z-Freak.
That's the right decision. You don't want to let Jug get 1v2'd by Brew because you can't lane, whereas Earth Spirit comes in and all of a sudden this will be equalized. As up top, you can't apply too much pressure as Wyvern Lone Druid until the Brute is available on Miracle's Bear. So why try lane when you just aren't going to be able to really dominate the lane?
Yeah,
2v2 you'll trade.
That's why I just thought like it would be good to get the follow-up, because they kill Miracle again, then he's without a bear for a good minute and a half, and like DJ's harassing him out as much as they possibly can. With the Gush, Miracle has very little armor to work with.
And it's mid lane. That's like really where this game I think comes down to, because if either player can just really start taking over the matchup, I think their team is going to have a significant advantage. I don't see much going down in these side lanes.
And Z-Freak is really being aggressive on this bottom lane. He is not giving MP any breathing room at all. And, well, we'll see if he'll pay a price for it, but it's a level 1 Earth Spirit, so rolling boulder forward without any kind of follow-up kick. Just, he'll pay no prices.
Yeah, and he's going to grab a regen rune bottom if he chooses to check it as well.
Well, he's going to go that way. Jabs will be there with him. He's got rolling boulder available. And they'll both see the rune. Z-Freak, rolling boulder in. Jab's going to actually steal the regen rune.
Nice.
That's going to give him all of his mana back again. Even with the kick, he hit level 2. Thanks to
cool.
the creeps dying on the way through.
That was so smooth where he kicks him back to prevent the auto attack that would have canceled the regen. So now he not only does that heavy harass, but he's now also going to be full HP, full mana, ready to rotate. That's really cool. It's a tiny play, but those little plays add up to extra gold spent on regen, more pressure, maybe kills later on. You never know.
Yeah. They also burnt the scan from Limp. Like, you wanted to know if the ES is sitting there, and the scan did trigger red.
Yep.
So they think Jabs is there, but Jabs is already rotating to the bottom lane, out of range of that Dire Observer Ward.
Yeah, it's like, it's not about just kills and CS and Dota. A lot of it, Jabs doesn't get any benefit on the scoreboard for any of what he just did. But as you said, like, he's burning resources. He's getting things used. He's creating pressure on the map, even if no one actually goes down. And so far, I look at the opener, really, from Fnatic. They did this in the first series they played against Chaos as well, where they just addressed the enemy opener, and it felt like, you know, Chaos went Darkseer, Sand King, they go Oracle. This game, complexity goes Brew Darkseer, or Brew Phoenix, immediate Jug. A hero that has incredible matchups against both, and already 1-to-1, it feels like the opener for Fnatic is stronger, and then it allows them to close the draft. And you feel like it's just a better lineup, but of course, complexity with the Wrinkle of the Drow could equalize, but so far, lane's definitely favoring Fnatic just a little bit.
Yeah, do you actually think like the lanes are a little bit odd for complexity? I thought you put the Druid against the OD and mid, actually let the bear try and harass out. So when this kind of happens, like, you don't miss out in the CS, and then the Druid gets the matchup that I think it was Blitz or one of the panel members was saying, like, you want to have the Druid versus the Tidehunter, but this just hasn't happened. Or is it more important to get levels bottom lane? Z-Freak in a world of trouble. Spin from MP. Z-Freak, the stick charges were not enough to keep him alive, but Death may feel he's got something. No mango, so he can't clamp down and keep the Juggernaut in range.
Yeah, Death's item build was a bit odd to me. He went 9 tangos, 1 salve. Like, full regen, sure, but now he's going to buy mangoes, give him to Z-Freak, but he had no mana regen, so whenever you have that, like, the mango's just nice because it always threatens the potential that you could pop it and grab a kill. But without one, you just have no threat on Fnatic. You recognize Brew's got no mana for clap, and you just ignore him.
And Dro's already going jungle. He's doing this before he's level 6. Without that marksmanship, without that nice little almost flash farm you can get from the Drow Ranger, it feels rough, but he's making the most of it before the creep wave comes onto the tower. But Arbed doesn't want to give him any kind of space, so one early point up in Gust makes it easy just to push him back.
I love the warding from Jabs. He's so in tune with what is necessary. That ward placed on the bottom shrine, that's exactly where the Drow is going to look to go when he gets 6.
They're going in real deep underneath the tower. They want to take this fight. The 5-minute boundary is responding. They need to find the healing ward, and they will be able to kill it as well as MP. But both the wards will go the way of Jabs. 3-4-3 will be able to claim both the ones up on top lane, thanks to the fact he was just hiding in the tree lines from DJ.
Yep. Zefrik was 3 for 3 on the Fire Spirits. Pretty good shooting percentage. Finishes off the creep wave with the last. You know, this is...
Jabs.
Oh.
He's going to rolling boulder in, going after the Brewmaster. Got those fresh phase boots, so that high movement speed makes it impossible for Jabs to block him, and MP to catch up to him.
It's really well played there by Cole, and they can pursue
Actually going
here.
in. Yeah, MP's already used his spin, so he's got no defense, and now you'll see the Spirit accuracy going off again. A rolling bottle forward from Jabs, trying to help him out. And the shackles, Zefrik gets controlled. He has the Fire Spirits, but no Icarus dive. And down goes Zefrik.
But he does buy his Tranquil Boots, Toby, so he loses absolutely no gold. About as value of a trade as you can get. You also force that teleport down. And remember, Jug TP'd and then died again, so it's quite grim. He will now be forced to just run out to a lane and just doesn't feel confident going back up against the Brew, I don't think. It's very tough to stay down here as Death close in on level 6. Really, it's the phase boots. Like, he's just so much stronger in this lane thanks to that free armor.
Arbed's headed north. Ice is not level 6 just yet. Needs a little bit more of this creep wave to die. Miracle's going to bring the bear back. He's got Savage Roar to create a little bit of space, but Arbed, with this haste rune, he can move so quickly. And Miracle into the trees, but he needs to get to the Fog of War. Difficult to do. In fact, impossible.
Really well played there by Abed. And even Ice, who just tanks tower and just runs directly across it with that 3-point Kraken shell. So Miracle knows, look, I can't actually run into this tide. I'll just die there. Abed with the skill point on his ult level 6. You don't see that very often, but because of the haste rune, you know, it's that concept of every game is different. Don't just mindlessly skill in the same way. Abed, obviously one of the best players in the world.
They changed up their lanes. They brought Miracle to the bottom lane. Now, he doesn't have a bear available, it seems. So, yeah, with that,
Yep.
they'll just give him the space to farm next to Death and ignore top lane while Zefrik... Why does he feel like he's always got the crap job? Like, he's the sewerage worker of compLexity. He's like, okay, you go up there and do something about the tier 1 tower.
It's no one else is really capable of doing so. Could theoretically be the 3-4-3 Wyvern, but he's better suited just sitting mid.
Oh, attempted denial. Fortification lasted just a fraction of a second too long.
And again, Fnatic so good at rotating their heroes around. Once again, the 4 position of DJ. He's been sitting mid as Abed not just kills top and gets tower, but has lane dominance. So you get more net worth on your valuable support heroes. compLexity trying to do the same, but the CS is just not equalized. However, they are keeping MP's Jug pretty shut down. He's just forced to farm jungle slowly but surely.
Ice is at a little... He knows there's no bear for Miracle for the moment, so he can be this aggressor. Brewmaster has split and Drow Ranger's moving down, so they got the 3 cores from compLexity converging on bottom. It's an invis room from the Drow Ranger with 2 points up in Cold Arrows. That's enough to get through the Tidehunter, but you got to time the Gush. Actually, there's no Ravage available, so Ice has no counter initiation. Death's going to help him out, just send him drunk as Tidehunter can't even stumble his way back to that tier 1 tower. Ice will taunt the way down, but bought his Vlads before Death, so money is saved while up on top. Zefrik initiated on. This took a while to do. Jab's been waiting a long time to get this initiation off, and Zefrik, no way to jump away, no way to just Sunray out, with the sprites making it difficult for Earthspirit to get the last point of damage in. Odie's here, and they've waited so long with the split. Jabs will most definitely die as you've got the vision from 3-4-3. No, they actually lost it. He was up in the trees. They can't even get a 1-for-1 trade-off.
Zefrik was so close to level 6, 200 XP away. Would have been huge if he popped off egg there. Would have probably landed 1, maybe even 2 kills. Rosterwards, this is the benefit of DJ. You know, he is level 6, and he has an Aether Lens at 9 minutes. Oh my god, and this like the value on these items, just a straight Vlads from Ice, straight Aether Lens on DJ. Like, they've got their 15-minute items up, and it's only 9. That's wild. And they're just so strong. They've already taken the 2 critical towers Radiant, as a side, wants to deal with. and it's 9 minutes into the game. Abed has a Midas, like they are rolling
They've got
already.
a good observer ward, however. Is there any kind of help to help the OD? He's got some good movement speed, and yeah, they're actually just backing out. Tidehunter still not level 7 yet. So close with the points. And this will actually mean there's no Ravage available with Brewmaster split. The control factor continues to go the way of complexity. They sent the OD up and towards the air thanks to the Brewmaster split. But there's no follow-up, but this is the 10-minute room battle. Miracle will get both of the ones on bottom, however.
I like that play. Yeah, you might have wanted a bit more out of your split, but a core kill and a control of the rune is key because it forced Fnatic to look top. Miracle, of course, shoving out bottom. He has taken that tower.
Yep.
And he gets those 2 bounties for free.
Do you like his item build as well? So the Bear's got pretty bare minimum, but he's got 3 Wraith Bands on the Lone Druid. Is this the standard even with the small changes?
I think it's fine just because they're still the most stat-efficient items in game, and Lone Druid really doesn't have the same slot problems as other heroes just because your bear is involved. I don't mind it whatsoever. He's going to go Treads, it appears, and I think that's appropriate as well.
They use the courier this time to scout the high
Yes.
ground, so
Learned.
they're watching, they're getting smarter. It's like open AI, right?
Yeah.
They can adapt.
Yeah, and the top... trying to think. So complexity, I think, need to try and accelerate the game state a little
Shaman,
bit.
DJ came out a very long way,
nice
gets the
Hex.
Hex, begins his TP out. He doesn't want anything to do with this. The damage output is not enough to get the kill. However, there was movement over. Ice has Ravage available, but Limp, he needs to get this cold arrow. Starts with the Gus, however. Getting the silence on the Tidehunter, he's into the trees. But they cannot
Careful,
find
yeah.
the kill.
This is the benefit of these big, beefy frontliners that Ice keeps playing. It was the same in the last game where they would pressure the Timbersaw, but then, like, that's 3 heroes. And they're afraid of chasing into the trees because they don't have vision, and you never know. Fnatic, like, their draft is so easy to rotate. There could be an Earth Spirit already there with a teleport. That Ravage now on 3 leads to you just getting wiped out, and they can't stay aggressive, even though in reality, it's just Ice all by himself.
Jabs goes very quickly, visible, drops down the Observe Ward, should be scouted out, rolling boulder forward, finding the Drone Ranger, and the Silence catching the Winter Wyvern. There's no follow through, there's no Cold Embrace. The Banish from Arbed will be able to kill that Wyvern as he re-emerges.
Were they smoked? Because
Yeah, there was a smoke.
it was okay.
They smoked and they ramped around, a very long way around.
Yeah, and that is the one downside of the Cole lineup is that Brew's not there, and he's their real solid team fight. They're looking to take skirmishes, like these 2-on-2 engagements around objectives where they're just doing more damage. They force Fnatic off, but if Fnatic are ever in a position to like actually get on top, notably with Jabs rolling in, finding that initiation, there's no real team fight on complexity yet. They don't have any combo break, and you can see just Earth Spirit OD ult, suddenly everybody's dead. Where's that spell damage on the Cole side if the Brew isn't there to provide control?
Well, he's coming out with an Invis rune, so looking for some extra information. He'll find DJ. There's not a lot of follow-up unless Z-Freak has a great ability which allows him to close distances. DJ, not again, not again, really? No, he TP'd to the Shrine, which didn't have a charge available.
If he went base, I think he lives there. Could have
Yeah.
potentially even bought a raindrop. But see, I don't mind that play, but if I'm Cole, I want to see you look to get mid-tower. All right, make that move around an objective. And they're going to look to push top. They'll probably get that tower for free, but the problem is MPs look to just mirror this.
And Limp can instantly kill off the healing board, and there goes MP's push. There's also a triple stack of Ancients that was prepared up by the Drow Ranger, and Odie's coming to have a look. He knows where the Drow Ranger's been. There was a box that was drawn pretty heavily saying, hey, we haven't seen the Drow in a while, and she wasn't involved up in top, but top lane, speaking of which, they're moving forward. They're looking for a good fight onto Ice, and they've got a lot of damage, a lot of control. In fact, a lot of players. 4 heroes up on the top. There's no way Ice should be able to survive through this, but he's still going to pop the Ravage, getting him 3, but the Brewmaster split. Death has Ice locked in the corner. And now they're going to put that Blightstone and heavy amount of damage to the Lone Druid to work. All of it being buffed up by that level 4 precision aura of Limp. But the trade-off is still trying to come in from Fnatic. They're preparing with a smoke gank up mid.
And you can see the way that they're itemizing. Blink next up for both the... Oh, no.
No, that's
Death.
not the TP you want. He does, actually, maybe it is. You've got Winter's Curse available. So is Supernova. This is that kind of like layered combination that we haven't... like. We've been waiting to see.
So you can see the way Cole's been playing, right? Lone Druid all by himself, often Drow as well, and the other heroes looking to move around. Fnatic, they recognize, look, maybe we aren't going to be able to, we need mobility. That's what we're lacking. So you have an Earth Spirit, but Abed, he has a Blink Dagger, and now Rasta, DJ's going to have his up very soon as well. and they're going to be able to just play hit and run all game on these slower paced Cole heroes.
Jabs is such a patient man. They're checking the hillsides with the courier now, so they'll get rid of that observe ward. So Jabs, things goes a little bit more blind, but he's got no TP scroll. That's why he's hanging around so long. But he's in this one area that Dire side very rarely walk. Now he'll get some information. Oh, okay, Winter's Curse. The follow-up gust will have to be pretty quickly, and now they'll have the damage output to get through Jabs. Even with a kick. He knew he was dead.
Oh, nice job. Zivrik almost gets the bottom bounty. He gets one. Tidehunter beat him in the click war on the one Radiant side. TP from Limp. He'll see the Jug, has silence.
Yeah, he does. Does he have the damage follow-up? Miracle is coming in. 343 is nearby, so if Juggernaut wants to go, he doesn't even have, well, in spin.
And real quick, if Wyvern has ult there, that's a dead Jug. But it was used on Jabs. So yeah, he dies, but it's just like,
Space
I'm not
created.
gonna say it's like planned, but you know, sometimes as a support player, especially as a 5, where you die and what you force the enemies to use is important. And it's just another example of Jabs getting resources out of the enemy side just because he's playing so aggressively.
Yeah. At the same time, though, Ice was forced to TP back all the way to base.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to fight, doesn't have his Ravage. Middle lane, they start off with a Gust, but no damage to follow up, so OD just blinks away to safety.
I'm starting to look, it feels like Cole's looking real good here. You have a Midas on the Phoenix already. Death's about to finish his.
It's the
Limp's
OD.
gonna have Blink. But the thing is, the OD doesn't have that same win condition like he did in the previous game. You get Blink Silence right now, you're just gonna die. And Cole should have a teamfight advantage. Really, no, a DPS advantage. They had issues staying in fights. They ran out of gas, right?
Yeah.
This time, they're driving a motorcycle, okay? With like a tank, a keg of kerosene in the sidecar. They have no problem.
This doesn't sound safe, Kyle. This
It's
doesn't
not
sound
safe. It's not safe at all. That's the concern. You catch a Ravage, you have Earth Spirit OD just get right on top of you, and yeah, you might get exploded, but if they're able to just find targets and hit them, okay? They're the Gatling guns. It's just, ooh, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to come down to like one fight, as most games often do.
Winter's Curse in the back lines. They found the OD. He blinks! There was no damage on him. He just TPs away. Arped. Winter's Curse is down. Fnatic are pushed in the top lane.
That's on Miracle there. He had to overlap the Winter's Curse with Fear because there's no other sources of damage that can be dealt to prevent Blink, but you could overlap with a Disable. Unfortunately, they just have that one, unless Bruce splits. And that if you know, we've talked about this a lot, but if there is one downside to the Cole lineup, and part of what makes their execution so tricky, they don't have disables. It's all about positioning and finding opening kills. Fnatic will always have that initiation and reach advantage. So if they find a way to just get on top of Cole right away, this is a lot of smokes used though. This is their 3rd or 4th of the game. They're running low on them, but they've got Ravage, and they're gonna look to connect around this tower. Cole, Roche is open now. This is your chance if you can recognize this move.
They're also looking for the Drow Ranger, so
no.
Smoke will break, and already Arbed. Oh, wait, he blinks up! The damage from Arbed does not connect. Slow in flight.
Go to Roche.
And Limp can get away to safety. They also did this as an Observer Ward jump, but because they dropped down the sentry and did a D-Ward, more than likely Complexity will D-Ward them out as well, which leaves then
that's a
only
DD.
one Observer Ward available.
Dude, see, this is the thing. If mid tower is dead, they're gonna feel a lot more confident. But Cole, this is something I've seen a couple times. Like you have a level 12 on Drow, your damage output is spiked. You just finished a Deso on Miracle. You've got a DD. Something's got to be done.
Yep, and they need the mid tower. So look towards Ice. Instead he goes into the tree lines. Man, Miracle really wants to keep going with this one. ES rolling boulders forward, but they're not chasing in. All they was trying to do is zone out the Tidehunter. So Ice cannot get into range to get that ulti off, and they're moving towards Roshan, but they're through 2/3 of that DD already.
The thing is,
Not
the
to
Roche,
mention Mass Serpent was taking tier 2 tower on bot lane.
It's too late for Roche now. Or is it? I mean, they do so much damage. Holy crap. But
They have to move fast.
yeah, Fnatic, they know this is happening.
So a tier 2 tower on bottom lane, the trade-off will be there. Shadow Shaman hasn't come over, that Blink Dagger Disable not available, and Winter Wyvern up into the air. They look towards the Tidehunter. He's got the Ravage level 1 available, but Roshan's taken. A Miracle as the Aegis Immortal. They're going after Ice. Another stun. He's still got the Ravage, but he'll never trigger it. Now compLexity need to get some back-to-back kills to jump forward. could not get in front of ES rolling
nice
out,
from
but
Death.
it won't matter when the Brewmaster split. The Storm Brewling was already there, and ES on the run. He's burning out to the Fire Spirits, and that is what takes the kill. And now you move towards the mid lane. Miracle with the Desolator available, they're going to push hard.
Feels like even compLexity is like underestimating their sheer raw damage output at the moment. You know, if they took their time, Miracle's like, oh, I guess I can kill this tower. It takes 7 seconds. They walk into the pit. That's another 13. Fnatic making
up.
a rookie mistake. They walk into the pit, but after Roche has already died, so your Ravaged carrier is down. They have no Rasta wards for a bit. If you're Cole, you can just keep going, right? You don't have a blink on Tide.
OD's pressuring the bottom lane, but it's an OD pressuring the bottom lane. Z-Free seeing the life back to the bear. They're beating through the tier 3 tower. Another imprisonment. Now Ice presents himself. Some chip damage again, down to now 2/3 of his life, but they need to finish off this tier 3 tower. They need to open up the shrines. Miracle can do so in compLexity. They're going to safely back out. Careful with the resummon of the bear, though, not to lose Miracle.
It's just so tricky to take fights into the Cole lineup. You have to commit so hard. What the?
3-4-3? Is this space?
Space. Okay, space.
Space.
You only win fights against Cole if you go. You need to jump on top of the Drow, on top of the Wyvern, and hard commit. But if you have your Jug still top, your OD was still bottom, like, you're not ready yet, and you will straight up lose the game if you try and take an engagement. And it isn't executed properly. Cole, all they need to do is sort of draw a line in the sand and hit anybody that crosses it.
Is that when you start to question item builds like this from the Draw Ranger? Like the Blink Dagger, I'm all for, but he's now got a Shadow Blade being queued up. Is this that initiation from him instead of the Brewmaster?
Their issue as Cole right now, they have nothing that really provides vision, and they don't have high disables. So Drow has to have near perfect positioning with no information. This item allows him to not, like, it doesn't sacrifice his DPS output too much, but it enables him to actually play around these team fights properly. Because like we just said, he is the target. He is who Fnatic will be trying to jump. If he can just escape that once, could be huge. And I like this play.
They're coming again. They are shadowing under the cover of smoke.
Fnatic's not ready either. They're still trying to play the split push game, but compLexity, you got to be careful. You don't have Glyph, and Cole has so much damage up. But look,
Phoenix
level 12
just walked in.
egg.
Phoenix,
they have Brew Split.
He's going to Yule Scepter, starting over on Jabs. Brewmaster's moving over as well. There's the jump forward. They want the kill over on the ES as quick as they possibly can. They got it. 30 seconds on the sideline, and this will open up the melee ranks. And Miracle's damage output is ridiculously good for a 21-minute point of a lone Druid, and that melee ranks is toast. The side lanes are pushing in, so compLexity will have to back out. They haven't taken those tier 2 towers, but they get what they want. Pick into objective.
He's either playing, I would say, a little overly conservative on the side of Cole. They get the 1 racks, probably could have got 2, as Fnatic have no interest whatsoever in taking the fight. But what a great play. That's how you execute with Drow lineups, especially when you have a ranged lone form with Deso in the mix. Take possession of the high ground, take the 1 kill, and ensure that there's no way that Fnatic could possibly initiate a fight. You just kill the structure in 10 seconds and get out of dodge.
Man, look how the odds just change around as well. Like, compLexity's odds weren't looking that good at the start of the game, but as this progresses on, you see the change. compLexity, they are getting momentum, they're getting huge cores, and their objectives are actually coming in at the right times. The difference in the net worth, it's pretty damn close, as we can see on the screen. Like, it's not even 1,000 like experience different as well. So the teams are close in money, but it seems like compLexity are just able to achieve objectives. And smoke into smoke. Brewmaster, he breaks his. Is Ice on the hillside. Here's your initiation. Massive more trap. It's a gust. It hits over on 2 on the Savage Roll, makes him run away. A 3-4-3 can't get in. Jabs is actually causing so many problems on the back lines, but he should be eventually brought down. But it's Miracle killing off Arbed. He'll defensively imprison, buy some more time. Limp in 3-4-3. They have gone down to the backline shenanigans, and OD can just blink away. The Brewmaster splits there. They're jumping forward. They really want this OD. The buyback already came in from Winter Wyvern. Finally, Arbed will go down, but he drops the hammer. He'll still find a kill in return. But now Ravage from Ice goes to work. No Omni Slash underneath the shrine. The regeneration is better for Miracle. He'll need more life to battle against MP, and now the Winter's Curse creates space. He's not wanting to kill his own teammate, but he has no other choice, and they're feared they can't even react with abilities. MP still wants to run back out again. Ice with the Anchor Smash, reduce the damage, and it's almost enough to keep MP alive, but almost is not enough. Ice is now on the run. compLexity surrounding him, and he's trying to run back out. He's pretty damn tanky, but that Blink Dagger needs to come off cooldown. Difficult to do. Limp even TPs forward just to ensure the kill happens. And compLexity, a solid defense.
Keep in mind, they did invest 2 buybacks into that engagement. 1 on Death and 1 on 3-4-3. Such an unbelievably fortuitous silence from Limp, because lingers. It's not like the gust is traveling. Like the whole ray of the gust will apply silence at any point in the spellcast, and Ice blinked into it. Otherwise, he's landing a 3 or 4-man Ravage, overlapping on top of the Brew, who's caught inside the roster wards. If he dies instead of getting split off, that would have been terrible for Cole. Instead, Drow lives because he gets the silence off. The Brew splits, then they chase down Abed. Excellent micro from Death. Once again, he was there in position to get the lift up onto a target that had escaped, but then nope. Storm Spirit, really well done. And now there's no Ravage, there's no Hammer. Cole, you've got Brew split in 17 seconds. You're feeling good. You've got DD for a couple more moments. This could be your time. You've got Egg. You've got everything.
With the Aegis down though, do you want to do this? Even as you said, like Ravage isn't available, but how hard can you push this? MP pushes back pretty damn fast as well. And that top lane from Abed is threatening. But the BKB just arrived on Miracle. He has everything he needs to deal with the OD. Ice jumps forward. He's just trying to reduce the damage with that Anchor Smash. Fortification will buy a little bit more time as well. This Brewmaster split committed really early on. They are not looking to fight just yet, Fnatic, but that tower, it doesn't stand a chance. They get through the tier 3, focusing on the melee racks. They don't just want the range. Here comes Ice again. He's getting gusted back up. A Fuel Scepter as well. He can't get involved in the engagement. Remember, he still doesn't have Ravage.
DJ's top. DJ's taking a tier 3. They're going to be forced to glyph. Cole have to back off.
Miracle's TPing under the cover of his BKB. Oh, wait, that just wore off. Oh, okay. Jabs could have actually canceled that TP. But Limp will be the one to defend to get rid of the Mass Serpent Wall, so they keep their tier 3 tower alive.
Oh, see, this is the thing. Cole's been in this position a lot. And they've thrown a lot of games, and I feel like they're actually playing too conservatively because they're afraid of making that big misstep. DJ's doing a great job just continuing to pressure and push top, but as soon as you see those roster words, I'm like, Cole, you had a window, a huge window, where there were no spells up to defend on the side of Fnatic, and it just, like, the Brew split was a few seconds too early. The Drow did about 5 or 7 seconds of no damage because he was just hesitating, running back and forth in a circle on the side. Like, I feel like if that was the opportunity, like, when will it be? Because now you've just delayed that inevitable huge engagement to the next Roche fight.
I am, however, looking at a whole bunch of items that compLexity can use in that next Roche fight. Again, if the Aeon Disc coming in from the Phoenix and a full BKB is completed on the Drow Ranger. So both of that range damage caused from compLexity can do more work. It feels like the OD's presence in these fights is almost negligible, so can MP then carry the rest of his team?
Here's the thing, they will have BKB up on OD and possibly a BKB on Rasta incredibly soon. And that's where it gets tricky, because other than the Wyvern ult, which is nice, it'll be very difficult for them to save a target that gets initiated on. But I agree that Aeon Disc on Z-Freak, it's rare that we see it picked up this early on Phoenix, but I think it's perfect for this game, because if he's going to die, it's going to be in that burst combo. And this means he now has 2 methods of cleansing himself. He will almost always be able to get that egg off.
It seems like, hey, last game on Phoenix, he was still having a great presence and he was so far behind. This time around, he got so many early levels because of this presence the compLexity have had that level 10 came very quickly. So these early items are so much more affordable for the Phoenix. Hand of Midas and the 90 gold per minute. It's just too good.
And you now just have to ensure, if you're Cole, keep the Wyvern safe. Phoenix can take care of himself. Brew as well, to be honest. He's strong enough. He's got like 2,000 something HP. But the DPS has to stay alive. Your Lone Druid and your Drought. They both have BKB. And if you're Fnatic, the name of the game is to just poke and back.
And do what
kite these big spells.
Do what DJ is doing. Roshan's going to spawn in 8 seconds time. DJ can just jump in, shock, and plant the Mass Serpent Wars down if Roshan begins. So Tide reveals himself, steals the double damage rune. That would have been huge for compLexity.
It's well done by Ice there, because that might just lead to, like, that means you can't really contest Roche if all of a sudden there's a Lone Druid.
compLexity now see
It's a cool stat.
Roshan, jabs at a 4.8, huh?
It's telling though.
And DJ and Ice.
They're the only team that's undefeated, to be fair.
Yes.
So it is easier to rack up assists in winning games.
Especially when you have a lineup that continuously just groups up and then pushes to end the game nice and quickly.
The Fnatic playstyle is not one of sit back on your haunches and farm. They are almost always gunning for the throat. And Cole, still, play the methodical game.
You can't go in, right?
You've spent your gold. You've got buyback on the heroes that need it. The Lone Druid has one. The Drow has one.
You can blink the Drow into
does
the
not
pit.
have one.
Is she short, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, by 460 gold.
But that's cool. You can make Miracle the target. He's making himself that target in these engagements. He's always the one just sort of threatening and keeping his body between himself and his allies. And you can see Fnatic, they still have no interest in really forcing an engagement. They do not feel strong enough yet. Abed needs that BKB, and he just got the gold for it. It's on Courier now, and I question whether Cole has perhaps sat back too long. Like,
Yeah.
Roche has been up for a couple of minutes. What item is next that makes you feel strong enough to go take an engagement? I mean, we have Smoke queued up for the next item on Limp, so perhaps they're waiting for one of those.
Is the item actually consumable? It's an award. Like, they need to have vision. But right now, if you look on the Radiant side of the river, none of it exists. There's a defensive ward to the north of the pit, and there's a defensive observer and sentry watching the bottom lane. compLexity, because of these side lane pushes, they're always looking behind them as opposed to I dare say, forward.
And Lone Druid carry, in this sense, like as the range form Druid, falls off just for the same, I've been harping on it a lot, but like OD, he's itemizing and scaling, and his survivability is increasing drastically. Shiva's BKB, he is very difficult to take down, and eventually he's going to have that Scythe of Ice finished. Your Drow and your Lone Druid, they never actually get strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Abed unless they're under the BKBs, and this is a nice play by Limp here. Might get the kill.
Yeah, if they can catch out and hold DJ in position, they're able to do so Limp will find it.
He does finish his BKB, however. He buys that before he goes down.
Yep, but he doesn't have buyback. So no Shaman wards, no disable from Shaman in the pit, but is that still enough for compLexity to feel confident to go in? They need a fight. At least they know Fnatic's respawn, reinforcements can't come quickly. No tier 1 towers, no shrine available next to Roshan. So yeah, they're going to go inside the pit and see how fast they can bring him down. Watch the position of Ice. He's the one that makes a difference here, but they're not in position.
Yeah, you can't do this if you're Fnatic. You don't want to take this engagement 4-on-5. It's just too easy for Cole to defend the pit. They pop split, they pop egg.
Tide blinks forward. There's already Aeon Disc and OD. Locked in position, they've already got the kill on Roshan. Miracle got the Aegis, the Immortal attempted snatch from Jabs, goes wanting at 3-4-3, just protected by the Cold Embrace. The Omnislash from MP, massively ineffective. However, Z-Freak's fire, that'll be enough. Jabs still on the run. This Brewmaster causing all sorts of problems. Ravage is still up. Tidal still has this control, and he's going to burn it, combining with the OD ulti. Limp and Miracle, they drop so quickly. The Mass Open Ward's already back down again. The Aegis Immortal's going to burn. 2 heroes down for compLexity. The other is respawning, but Brewmaster's TPing out. They're going to try and get Miracle out with the Savage Roar and the TP away to safety under BKB cover. They're able to do so, but the line, how quickly they drew it. Straight towards top lane. Fnatic now want to push.
You can see the blink on Tide changes everything, Toby. It's hit and hit hard. They are going for the knockout in these engagements. The Ravage, bam, the hammer. Cole suddenly no ability to take that fight. Z-Freak holding the egg because he didn't. The fight developed so strangely. I felt like he almost had to get it off, but as soon as Adam uses the Wyvern ulti, their counter initiation disappears, and Ice has no qualms about just jumping in and going hard. And the split as well used a bit early.
They're
just
coming
because they're
in.
trying to zone Roche.
There's no mass open wards for the moment. The catapults, they just want to get through the tier 3 tower and break down these shrines. They can't do it. Dro's already respawned. The push doesn't come faster from Fnatic, but it does allow them, with the double damage on MP, to take the tier 2 tower. That's the last remaining outer one for compLexity.
You've equalized, though, because if Cole wasn't willing to look to go high ground pre-second Roche, the game doesn't get any easier for them. Okay, the Refresher Shard doesn't really do too much for Cole. 2 splits is nice, but look at Fnatic. That would mean double Hex, double Shiva's double Hammer, or double Ravage. Either way, those are game-winning abilities. And again, the Wyvern, Cold embraced himself during the entire Omnislash, and they still got wrecked in that engagement. And part of that is just because these spells are used, and then the Ravage comes out, and everybody dies. You just throw all your ults at once as Fnatic, and no matter what you do, no matter how late you go, what items you buy, this Lone Druid is going to die immediately, as will Limp's Drought. They have 1,700 HP.
Yep.
That's not enough.
And you're not seeing Druid building it, like he's building in for a Daedalus. He's going for that heavy amount of damage output. There's no Skadi, there's nothing to increase up my life or my intel. And now you even get the multiplier. That's a level 20 OD on the field. Shiva's to protect him, and he's building into the Scythe as well. Then you'll have another disable as these BKB duration times for compLexity get lower and lower.
It's going to be... They need a huge egg. And Z-Freak, he's going to be rushing for the Hex. I think that's a big item pickup. You have a lot of damage as yourself, but they lack the disable. They lack the stuns. If you can dive forward, find a big Hex, Drow blinks in, Lone Druid closes the gap.
Yep.
We'll see, but I want to see 3-4-3. He's got to save his ult to be used as a combo breaker. It's got to be used defensively. I don't care if you even land a kill because you Wyvern ult, say, the Earth Spirit in range of the Juggernaut. You need that to prevent this massive combination from Abed and Ice. You need to be able to Wyvern ult on top of the OD's BKB, or you're just going to get wrecked in these engagements.
That sounds like you need a Blink Dagger. He's got it in quick buy, but it's going to take a while to reach it. Meanwhile, what do you do as compLexity? Do you wait for the next Roshan? It's maybe 4 minutes and 40 seconds away.
Dude, Ice is closing in on a refresher. Yeah, he bought it.
Oh my god.
And that...
You see the priority he puts on it. Like, sacrifice your buyback. He needs to have the double Ravage.
Yeah, and Cole, you've got to play a real touch-and-go game now, where you don't want to take a fight too deep. You can't get distracted. You have to be very conservative with your cooldowns. The Brew Split, the Wyvern ult, and notably the BKBs on your course. Because the moment you spend a couple of these resources, like, it's just, you get closer and closer to Ice and his ability to just completely turn around an engagement. Nighttime hits, Bounty runes are going to be split 2-2. We probably won't see too much action until that next Roshan, which is a very long way away. 3.5 to 6.5 minutes from now. BKB on Death.
He's got the casual Hyperstone, but working into Radiance, yeah. It's
He
all
should
taking
go
time.
AC first. I get the Radiance, but it's AC at this point, unless Miracle has decided he wants to get one, but he actually went for the Daedalus.
Fnatic are coming over into their own jungle. The Bear is the one on the front lines just scouting out. It's the expendable casualty.
Double Ravage. This is so scary. You got to be so cautious if you're compLexity. Taking a fight under vision will lose you the game because Fnatic, they will not hold back.
The Radiant Observer, what it sees the Bear. Like, I think it sees just the tip of Miracle's Bear. And MP jumps in, instantly gets rid of the Observer Ward. Remove any level of vision that...
you can see Ice.
Like compLexity prepare.
Ice is no longer that frontline watermelon. He is just hiding on the outskirts. Let the Juggernaut bait. Let Jabs walk in. Try and gain information. Vision is going to decide who wins this next clash because that jumping power will decide everything. You've got the Hex finished on the Phoenix. I'd like to see Cole threaten the base here a little bit. You don't have to do too much, but just at least push out this wave and have your Lone Druid in position to at least force Fnatic back to base because you have no idea where they are right now. Get that information.
And you got a long time before Roshan's up. It's not like being on the bottom lane is going to cause you any levels of problems. You got a fresh item as well, the E-Blade for the Drow Ranger, making it difficult to just continuously slam into him. I do want to flag the fact that Juggernaut's still walking around with the cheese. He's got it in his backpack for the moment, prioritizing Dust as his first item. Get that jump in. Nobody hides from him. But here's that pressure you asked for. A double catapult wave coming in with the Spirit Bear. And once again, they're going to go for the melee racks, but Fortification is already available. So with Glyph triggered, they're not finding exactly what they want. Miracle's going to go into his bear form and then pulls him back out. But the Ravage from Ice. They're catching Miracle mid-split and a second Ravage as well. Z-Freak will be protected, but where is this Supernova? Where is this control? They've already lost two. And Death, well, he'll TP out of the BKB. They take the melee racks, but compLexity, is the cost worth it?
It's not worth it, Toby. At this point, the racks is cool, but they need more than that. And Fnatic, like, they take the fight exactly as they should. DJ just goes in, he BKBs, gets off all his spells. Ice comes in 3 seconds later with a double Ravage, and there's no counterplay. Death, if you're gonna ult that early, you gotta find the tide, bro. Like, what's the use of splitting that preemptively without doing anything to prevent Fnatic's big initiator from getting just literally walking in to slay your team?
If the glyph was broken beforehand, that would make sense to create the space. Just like it's the rinse and repeat of what we saw the first time they pushed in. But
yeah, even not only that, like BKB first, blink in and BKB and hit Tide in the face. Fnatic can't do anything to your BKB. Just zone the Tide. That's the name of the game because that's the only way Cole will actually have. That's the only way Fnatic will be able to get the real initiation onto Cole to be able to take those heroes down. Like, if just hit the Tide. Stop him. Stop that man. You ever watch Ice interviews? Because sometimes I think the same.
What? No. I would never stop him from speaking. He never goes too far.
He toes the line here and there. I'm always a bit worried, but...
Hey, we know Purge Police will pull you back. Yeah. If you go too far, Purge will always be there to pull you back.
Thankfully, Valve is our publisher and not Blizzard.
Hey, I don't see no code of conduct on players in DPC. Alright, compLexity are pushing back out the lanes. Obviously, like Fnatic, they're happy they took the tier 3 tower. It allowed them to remove that top shrine. The opposite shrine, this one's the one that compLexity would have used to bring more reinforcements to contest the next Roshan. And the Bears just watching it. This Roshan, it's a long spawn time. 2 minutes 50 out of the potential 3. So this game is going to slow down a bit as everyone just has a bit of a standoff around the pit.
The thing is, Toby, does it need to? Like, if you're Cole, you just saw double Ravage get burnt, right? You're not willing to play aggressive. When does the game get easier for you? Because what's going to inevitably happen here is there's going to be a fight around that third Rosh. You could let that go, but then you're talking about double Ravage, double OD, Hex, BKB, Shiva's Hammer. Like that.
They're coming. They're smoking up, but look at the position of Fnatic. They've basically just built a castle up on this high ground. You'll bait with the Juggernaut, who now has a full nullifier.
They'll know he has no buyback, though.
Yeah, keep in mind, he doesn't have that. He's 1,000 gold short. The direct Overlord Sentry will see him. If they can kill him off instantly, this will be absolutely huge. Can they actually find the kill? But no, the Max Overlord and the Curse. It's buying some space. Draw Ranger needs to get the hell out of here. Trigger a BKB. Trigger something. The Nova from Z-Freak. That'll do the work. OD is going down. He is defensively imprisoned. The Geometry side is lost. Here comes your Ravage. In from Ice, trying to create some space, allowing our bed to do it 3-4-3. Has actually clipped himself in the middle of this fight. He attacks and reveals his position. I don't think that was the intention, but he'll TP out anyway. No, they'll actually have a Hex to cancel that one off, while Death is having his own little bit of a battle. 3-4-3 will finally go down as Death is actually soloing jabs. Crane him up. This man, he fights better when he's drunk. MP's on the run. He wants to find the kill, but he can't do it. Blink up from Death. He'll get away to safety. The Ravage will go on to cooldown once more, but without the Lone Druid, compLexity will not push.
You can see the key to that fight was the defensive Wyvern ult. It pulls the tempo away from Fnatic in the engagement. The Tidehunter of Ice blinks into it, so at least Cole can then stall it out. It ends up as a 2-for-2, but they were very close to just winning that fight hard if they were able to take out the OD. But again, the lack of follow-up on the OD Astral is a problem because he's always getting that blink away off. And Ice?
This is huge. If they can actually kill off Ice right now, he has buyback available. He's going to refresher to actually get the Ravage off. That's a huge double cooldown use, but they can't get the attack in time. All the use, as you said, from Z-Freak to cancel the blink away to safety.
Roshan 30 seconds now, Toby, and they've blown both Ravages. compLexity, you have a window in this game. The target is Abed, and here, you see, the initiation onto the Jug. It's close, but Astral always is going to be there for the save. I love the decision to just ult the OD because otherwise he's going to get uninterrupted damage onto your core. Combo breaks, that allows the toss up onto the Tide. That's huge because now you know Ravage isn't a threat, but here Abed just barely is going to get the blink away. He has BKB as well. Yules and then Glimmer Cape onto Phoenix does save him, so that's nice. But if Abed dies there, Cole just looked to run away with that engagement. And as you said, Death manning up on jabs, able to take him out 2v1.
Let's come back live. The best rune that everybody wants is a double damage rune. The Hex! Z-Freak! Oh, he got caught! He's gonna go down just as Roshan spawned up!
Got buyback.
Oh,
but you got it in here, compLexity.
He does. You know Roshan's up. We're already at maximum spawn time. compLexity know exactly what's happening. They need to come down, and Fnatic, they're gonna back up. That double damage from Juggernaut is still not enough confidence. His buyback, he just has enough money. Everyone from Fnatic now has buyback, but the bottom lane's pushing in. They have to deal with mid, so they smoke up. They want to find kills on compLexity first.
Cole's ready for this, though. They're just camping the high ground.
Perfect Radiant scan. They know, but yeah, as you said, compLexity, they will break the smoke if someone comes close, but they look for their own target. It's the Hex over on Abed, rolling boulder back in from jabs. He's trying to create a little bit of space. The OD's taking out the fight, but a great man Surf Mords. The Supernova, it's a little bit further away from this fight, but Miracle, he just kills off DJ, but the OD drops the hammer down with the Hex. He needs to kill off Miracle. He's the big form of damage, but the Winter Wyvern curses up the OD. They reset. Limp for the Gust pushes them all back. OD can't do anything with no BKB. He'll go down. The buybacks are coming in, but Miracle's just pumping out that range damage. They move away and down towards the Tidehunter. He's got no Ravage to do. Drop a gem. All the buybacks can come, but what have you got left to fight? He'll blink away. The Gust doesn't connect. A quick Hex onto the Brewmaster. Follow-up from compLexity is into Roshan. They do not need anything else apart from this because Fnatic have nothing to counter.
They have no Ravages, but they will have one in 10 seconds. Tide has to deal with the creeps in the base. You've got to move quickly if you're Cole. If you wait another 30 seconds, Fnatic will have all their abilities active and you won't have any.
They're waiting. They're not wanting to go in. They don't want to fight. But DJ, he rolled, Jabs rolls. It's like, wait, what's going on? Any other team should be taking this right now. But maybe because the Creedway's pushing in bottom. compLexity feel confident that they will come back.
You've got Egg in 40. You have no Wyvern ult for 20. You've got to be cautious because you're hitting a moment right now where there's a Ravage available and you don't have any of your big spells up on compLexity.
The bear scouting.
Nobody.
Kick it back. Let's try and steal the Brewmaster, BKB. They kill off the ES
No
so
buyback.
quickly. Shiva's already been burned off. If this isn't the reason to go in, Ravage is up. Double Ravage in 12 seconds.
No. At this point, you wait. You have Egg in 20. You've got to chill as Cole, relax. You know you have a 4-on-5. Jabs just bought back, so you're going to have a window in 20 seconds where it's 4v5 for 40 more seconds. Creeps are in the enemy base. You can take this engagement. Just be cautious. You know what Fnatic's looking to do in the game. They want to blink in, Ravage on 3, drop hammer, use all spells, end game. That's how you got to prevent. You just stay cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your spells off. BKBs are active and 30 on the Drow. Lone Druids is back up.
I love how the Radiant Courier, it's now watching the pit. It wants to know the second compLexity go in. This will allow enough information for Fnatic to know that they can be on the bottom lane, pushing back out again. You can TP to the tier 2 tower that remains on the top lane. So there is some quick way to get back to Roshan. But now, okay, they're going to enter the pit. Nova is up.
Yep.
They're going to give it a crack.
And I think Fnatic recognizes well that Refresher, it's annoying to deal with on the enemy side, but it's not GG like compLexity have that fear against Fnatic. So they're going to give the Aegis away. This is the right choice because taking this fight after Cole is patient and wait for their abilities is a game-losing move. Nobody's got buyback.
They're under Observer. They waited too long. The healing ward got planted up on the hill so they could see the dire Observer ward, but the gem that was on the Shaman got brought back too early. So there's no way they can come out and fight if they're going to try and do a wrap around the side. No way to defend the tier 2 tower. So this is a high ground defense now.
Yep. Let's see here. What are the items? Yeah, Death finished his Assault Cuirass. That's a big. That's a 10 armor swing that nobody on Fnatic is really able to itemize to match. This is big. Refresher Shard on the Phoenix as well. That means you've got double Hex, double ulti, and now you can use that first egg more as like this zoning tool. It's all about preventing the big combo of Fnatic, but you've got to be hesitant. Cole can continuously spend these big resources, the BKBs, the Brew Split, the egg, to prevent Fnatic from heavily committing, but they've got to be cautious because if you overspend and Fnatic are still ready to go, you might just find yourselves 3 or 4 man Ravage like they were around that tier 2 the Shrine fight earlier in this game. Refresher now finished on OD as well. That combo is unbelievably powerful.
Double Sandy's Eclipse, double Hexes, the double BKB, so finally you'll see more sustain coming in from the OD, or even the reposition from his Blink Dagger twice. Tide wants this opportunity, and there it is. The jump in. He'll catch out onto Arpit. Drops the hammer. They've already broken the Aegis, the Immortal, and killed off one. Can they actually get a little bit more? He actually had a buyback in from the Lone Druid, but Jabs in the back line. He's actually keeping Winter Wyvern under control. Where's the egg? It will get the stun off. MP, he's trapped at the moment. Lip focusing on the ES who created a hell of a lot of space. The second Ravage has already been blown. Death's inside the base. I think he actually, he's going to time out in 1 second time, so he'll come back into that position, but at full life, the Shackles, that's a long range one, and OD, he wants more. He's already popped the Refresher Orb. He has
Miracle's
the BKB, and yep, Miracle, he just TP's back into the fight, looking for the kill on Arpit. Another defensive imprisonment, but once the space can be created, Anchor Smash from Ice can reduce the damage. The Savage Roar, but the double stun, Z-Freak, the Supernova does its work. Everybody has got a 10, and compLexity, they want to finish this job. MP, he's running the other way around. They need to get the kill. Juggernaut, he'll consume the cheese, continuing the run, but he's wasting time. They want to try and end this game now. Tier 4 tower, they've already brought down one. They go for the secondary. DJ's in the neighborhood, but what's he gonna do? The ES can respawn, but without the Tide, without the OD, what else he got left? A Refresher Orb. It's bought up by MP, so maybe now he can jump in. He doesn't have the mana. He can't Omni Slash at the end of this spin, and it doesn't matter anyway. The Ancient is gone, and compLexity push back the Dro 5th pick, and the push through works finally. compLexity draw the series 1-1 and are the first team to take a game off Fnatic.
What a game. Adam saves the day. He got the winner's curse off on the Jug right before that last attack during spin would have actually finished off the Supernova. Then Z-Freak no buyback. You're not able to use the Refresher Orb either. Instead, they stay alive. That's all they had to do was stay alive. And this time, they make sure that Miracle's the target, but he's the one with buyback. So when he goes down, eventually he comes back in. Jabs had already gone down with no Ravages, with no hammers. They just don't have enough, and they blew everything right at the onset of that fight, but they only ended up getting the 1 kill. It's not enough when that guy just buys back immediately. What a game.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic, and that may just be enough to get complexity over the line. It's still not a done deal. They'll actually end with a 3-5 score, and Fnatic, they're gonna line up. Like Ice says, oh, okay, are we going to be on the same score as Team Secret? He thought it was without a loss, but it's 7-1 for Gambit, Secret, and Fnatic. All 3 of them get to top their groups at the moment. Still a great performance by Fnatic. Still terrific games of Dota, but complexity, man, they really needed that.
That's an understatement. The amount of pressure that would have gone on to them in that next series. They end the game or the day tomorrow against Aster, and I believe Aster 2-0'd Alliance, which would have meant that had they lost this, they would have needed a 2-0. It's a lot of pressure to put on a pretty young team, and now instead, they tie. And tomorrow they play for their tournament lives. That's what you love to see. And I just, forget about tomorrow. That was a great game. Excellent way to end day 2. And just finally, like, I've just seen Cole lose so many of these goddamn games in the exact same scenario, and this time they pull it out, and I can't even say, Fnatic didn't even throw. They played a damn good game, but Cole, with that last pick drow, they changed the status quo of the game, give themselves a win condition, and they bring it home.
Kyle's happy, complexity's happy.
Yep, indeed, and I'm sure Complexity's team are very, very happy with another late win. They did it last night against NIP in the final game of the night. They've done exactly the same thing again, perhaps in more impressive style tonight, against a team who hadn't dropped a single game all tournament so far. Fnatic won't care too much. They're 7-1, safely through the brackets, but Complexity have thrown themselves a very big lifeline. As Kyle said, they will be playing Aster tomorrow for a place in the brackets. We'll bring you right up to date towards the end of the program as well, but let's first break down this last game of the series with Blitz and Purge alongside. Will, that was a really good performance from Complexity against a great Fnatic team. They've been playing really well.
Yeah, and I think it really starts with their draft and how they functioned around it. I felt like finally Complexity had a style. Like before, I felt like bad teams, what they do is they don't really have their heroes, they don't really know what they're doing. There's no timing based on this. This time they're like, we have a draw strat, let's try to end the game at a reasonable time, let's take as many fights as we possibly can. It felt like Complexity was finally playing to win rather than just playing to stay in.
Were you worried at all though? Because I felt like you felt that they needed to finish relatively early, and it started to get away from them time-wise, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a time period where I was just like, this is getting a little bit dicey, but they made decisive plays. Like this fight right here where they immediately used the 2 buybacks to absolutely secure that fight. That was a really good play by them overall. I felt like they were just playing really well. Like things just felt like they were clicking. That winner's curse at top to save the egg.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was great.
I thought it was dead for sure, and then he ultied, and I wasn't completely sure it was needed, but it definitely was important. I was just really impressed with kind of just the build ideas, the range lone druid with all of a sudden you last pick drow, and then it just changes your lone druid big time. Like range lone druid's pretty good, but when you throw drow aura on top of that, and you get a range talent, and you have, I don't know if he had a Dragon Lance around, but he was attacking from very far away. It makes this huge buffer barrier. And do you remember on the draft when I was like, Jug is safe, pretty much no matter what, not a problem? It's a big problem when the other guy's attacking you from 800 units away like a sniper would. It's completely different circumstances. And just going like Deso and having Drows also doesn't have to worry about how much armor they have. Both of those 2 heroes did a lot of damage, and they had 3 teamfight heroes to fight around them to keep them away from those melee cores. It was just really smart draft for them.
I want to shout out for Adam as well. A couple of great saves in this game.
Yeah, he played very well this game.
Yeah, didn't he?
I felt like the SAP stats were throwing a lot of shade at him.
Again?
Game.
Oh, previous. Okay, I thought
previous game, they were like lowest net worth ever, most deaths in 33 minutes.
It was like, let's gang up on Adam, stat day.
No, but he played really well.
He played really well in this game, though.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Z-Freak as well.
He had the most damage of the entire team.
Who, Adam?
Z-Freak did.
Z-Freak on the Phoenix,
on
yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
But I still think, I mean, yes, he does damage when he ulties or whatever, but still, he out-damaged Miracle on the Lone Druid. He was like 4K ahead of a couple of them, so it was good. Yeah, he did have a Dragon Lance. Yeah, Dragon Lance, Daedalus, Deso. That's some damage right there.
Yeah, some fantastic damage on him as well. But a great team performance, Will. Rather than, because we can pick out one play here and there, but a very good team performance from Complexity.
Yeah, it just shows like if we were having trouble like saying who was the MVP, everybody had a good performance. It means this was one of the few times where somebody was just like, okay, we did it as a team, and that's really what they needed. You don't sometimes like you need these all-star performances, sure, but more importantly, you just need to start playing as a team, and that's what they lacked. And by the way, it was so good being able to watch Kyle cast his brother. I know he's not biased at all, but
I think
hearing how
he does a
hyped he
very good job of hiding it. That's for sure. What did Fnatic do wrong, if anything, in this game? Because they didn't play badly in this game, did they, Kevin?
I don't think so. I mean, there's some draft issues, potentially, but it felt like OD was good at like swinging team fights a little, but he didn't really match up very well against those other two cores. Because like a point that nobody ever really brings up on OD, he's not a full ranged hero. He attacks like 500 units, where like a typical range hero is like 600. So if you take those 600 range heroes and you slap Dragon Lances on both of them, all of a sudden they're attacking like twice as far as OD does, and both of them pretty much do a lot of raw physical damage or ignore armor. So it's like OD is far away from them. They cut through his only defensive source other than banishing himself. It just made both him and the Jug not good heroes that game. So it was just probably really difficult for Fnatic to play those games unless they can get to the back line and disable those cores and kill them at the start of the fight.
Yeah, some great play by compLexity in that game as well. We should bring you up to date with exactly where we are in terms of the groups as well right now, because the other matches have completed in this group, which leaves us with the results in Group B to be very, very close indeed. Aster did, as Kyle said in the commentary, win 2-0 in their particular game against Alliance. Now, what that does mean is Alliance are eliminated from ESL One Katowice, so they can't now make it through, unfortunately. But it has thrown a lifeline to Aster, who now have 3 points, alongside compLexity, who also have 3. And guess what? They play each other in the final game of the series tomorrow, incredibly. So as you can see there on your screen, compLexity and Team Aster tied on 3 points. Chaos picked up a point against NIP. They drew that one. So they're both tied on 5 points. They both have a shot at going through into the upper bracket tomorrow. And Fnatic guaranteed to be there. They're 7-1. Couldn't keep that perfect record, gents.
It's okay.
It's hard, isn't it, in these kind of best of twos?
I don't think they're too upset about it. If anything, it'll be a good learning game for them. Put them in a weird situation, considering how dominant they looked in the other matches. I think having a little loss once in a while will be helpful. They can maybe refine a hero or an item or something, or maybe a draft style.
All right, okay. We're going to get more from both of you to close the show in just a moment. But first, let's hear from one of the members of compLexity with Shiva.
Thanks, Paul. I'm here with Death. Death, congratulations on that second game here in the series against Fnatic. Overall, you guys had a pretty intense day. Can you talk a little bit to me about how today went from your perspective?
I think today went kind of as expected, because today we actually expected to do much better than yesterday, and I think we showed that in our plays, like we were a lot more confident and our drafts were better. Yep. And I think we could have taken 3 games today, and I think that was pretty okay for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and this second series against Fnatic, game 1 obviously didn't really go the way that you wanted it to. Do you have an explanation as to why?
I think we are just not very familiar with this team, and we had some issues with the draft, I believe. And I think once we kind of like got through the draft problems, and I think we showed that we can take a game of them in game 2.
You definitely did, because it actually didn't look too good at the start of that game for you guys, and then all of a sudden this Lone Druid comes around and you guys just hit that timing. What was that game to play like? Were you ever in doubt that you were going to be able to do that?
I think it was kind of shaky after we lost the Aegis at their shrine, and like after that we were like kind of like thinking whether we can outlate them or not, and like that was the only part that was like shaky from us. But other than that, I think we felt pretty confident in our lineup that we can just like ball and fight, and we definitely, I think we had a better lineup to execute. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really solid from you guys. Now you got 1 series left for tomorrow against Aster. Is there anything you're gonna do specifically to prepare for that team? You're gonna focus on yourself? You're gonna look at what they've done? What's the plan?
I think we're just gonna watch the replays today and figure out our mistakes. And I think against any opponent, we'll just study their drafts and we'll come up with something. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Good luck tomorrow, and have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Shiva, with Death there from compLexity. Obviously very happy at the end of the day. In the end, they've had a decent day with picking up a couple of points, giving them a shot of getting through. Just a quick recap on the games for tomorrow, guys, because there's some big matches tomorrow. Secret versus Gambit to decide Group A. Obviously, they're playing against each other. Mineski will take on Forward as well. OG versus FTD. FTD are one of the 2 teams that have been removed already. Fnatic play NIP tomorrow, and NIP need to win both games to try and get into the top 2. Because Chaos are playing Alliance in the other game, who could, in theory, get a 2-0 there. So you fancy NIP have to beat Fnatic 2-0 tomorrow to get into the upper bracket.
Yeah, you want to get in the upper bracket. That sounds pretty nice.
I mean, they would end up playing the winner of Secret versus Gambit in the upper bracket semi-final.
That's a good point. Lower bracket's easier. They'll have to play more matches, but at least
Yeah.
win those games, no problem.
Yeah, indeed. We've also lost Alliance, obviously, today. So Alliance and FTD, the first two teams out.
I didn't think they were going to do that
That's
bad.
kind of surprising, I think, isn't it?
Yes, I didn't think Alliance was going to go quite that bad. I thought maybe they'd be a slot up or something. But yeah, they were pretty separated from the rest of Group B. And curiously, after looking at Cole's record, I'm like, Cole actually did pretty good. I was like ragging on him yesterday, basically, but they went 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, and they had one game where they went 0-2 against Chaos. But the big problem looking at it now is one of the teams that they lost to 1-1 was Alliance. That was the only win that Alliance has gotten so far. And Cole's going to be, and that was like a 70-minute game was the first one. And
they should have won it, by the way. They were
that's what it looked
20k
like.
gold lead. Yeah, they had a 20k gold lead, should have won it.
They'd be 4-4 right now, and nobody would be looking as down on them. But
yeah, that's true. They play Asta, though, tomorrow, which is, it's kind of good and bad in a same way, because they need something out of the game, obviously, now. But that win tonight has given them a chance of drawing that and then going to some sort of weird head-to-head thing. They don't have to win 2-0, as Kyle pointed out in the commentary. If they had to win 2-0 tomorrow against that's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
It sounds like a lot more. So you're saying that because of some other matchup stuff that they actually just have to go 1-1?
If they were 1-1, I think it will then go to the whole weird
like who beat other people, and they win that tiebreaker, basically? Is that
potentially. It will depend on that match tomorrow. Because they could be faster or slower in terms of finishing, because that comes into play again.
I see. I didn't know what the tiebreaker rules was.
There's lots of tiebreakers.
Yep.
If Knoxville was here, he would explain them.
It's probably like 5 or 6 steps where you have to like fulfill this and fulfill this.
Including a coin flip at the end, which I can't even believe ever come in.
Yeah, it's got to be like one of those, it's like if 85 things happen in a row with really low chances, then we just say screw it, flip a coin.
If they have the average slowest time and the average fastest time and they're identical, then it would be a coin flip. Something like that. It's very, very unlikely.
Okay.
So let's hope it doesn't go that far. It's been a fun day, gents. What's been highlight for you, Will?
Probably compLexity.
Yeah.
I thought that
last series.
The team is just funny, right? Because it's just like a team of extremes. It's their Alliance's only win, and they're also Fnatic's only loss.
Yes.
That's actually so funny.
They also took a game off NIP as well, by the way.
Yeah, like they beat pretty good teams. That almost never happens, ever. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What about yourself, Kevin? What have you enjoyed today?
Just closer matches. Yesterday's were a lot more stompy. Today feels like meta's more figured out, less Midas purchases, more hero variety. Just feels like we're seeing the meta shift a little. So it's just always fun to watch that develop.
All right, well, thank you very much today. Thank you to our entire broadcast crew. But that is it. Day 2 is in the history books as far as ESL One Katowice 2019 is concerned. Good news is we've still got 4 more days to come. Quick reminder for you as well, the MVP vote is open right now. Thank you to Mercedes-Benz once again for supporting Dota 2 and esports. And if you found any of the fantastic plays today, made a vote for you, and you think, yeah, I want to go and vote for that play, you can do that right now. That's it for day number 2. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more quality Dota as we move not only towards the end of the group stage, but we also move into the brackets. We'll see you tomorrow.
Being committed as well. There's no messing around from Secret as they'll pick up a 3rd kill off the back of Mineski being the team trying to find some action. Moon does manage to slide by with the Remnant, but that may just cost him his life with the Diffusal Blade. Midway's going to drain the entirety of his mana. There's no one hitting into the 2 of them. He's got to be careful. If that power's clipped, he may have just died. They do get the root off from Puppy. That's going to set up for the bow. A Secret take down another 2.
Right now, like, Mineski doesn't want to fight. There's a 31 stack Slark running at you. He's got 221 base damage.
Diffusal Blade. Uh-oh, Pi. Slowed down by the Diffusal Blade. As Pi, he'll try his best to run and hide and dance around the trees, but Mid-One.
We're going to see the Will-O-Wisp come out once again.
Keys.
Yawar does manage to get off the showcase. Ryze, he was running out of mana. He gets the stall. Will be able to stay alive a little bit longer, but the Will-O-Wisp is holding him there. The RP comes down onto the Juggernaut as he tries to spin in. Thompson is staying alive, and he is fighting Resolution to the death. And death it is for Rezo. He falls, a buyback immediately out of Yawar's Medusa as he watches his core go down. Caught out here. You absolutely cannot die, and he's completely alone. He's gonna Shikuchi out. Oh, he hit him! Cuts a blind hit from Jerix! Unbelievable! Oh, God. It's 1-1 with...
King RD doesn't see anything he wants to go on.
There's a full hex on the OD that he just picked up.
This is huge for him. The control, the disable, the increase in intel, but at the same time, Darksteel Wall causes a couple of problems for Fnatic, but where's your follow-up? Is coming in from HF, and he doesn't have the Wukong. He's just trying to kill off DJ and remove this ET. Misery will control him a little bit, but the bigger damage is MP in towards Misery. He'll finish the job. Same with Arbeck, getting the Eclipse down, the saving of Jabs. They tried to go in on the OD, but they could not find the kill. Finally, the Sleeping Monkey is put
Everybody's
down.
dead.
Trying. King RD feels confident to keep the fight going because they pulled him back in, but no, the timing of the split up, it wasn't perfect, so Arbeck will get the toss off, killing King RD. There's still a trade-off, however, but as Aegis the Immortal, Ice is dropping Islands underneath the splitter, right on top of Chaos. He's given some style this, the TPing out under the cover of the Cogs, but the Curse will cancel the TPs. Ice is trapped himself, but he's protected by the embrace that is cold. A triple kill for Arbeck. He is going ham and ultra. The Phoenix Grip need to kill him off with Wukong's command. Liv gets a perfect 4-man stun out. He's already killed off one. The Aegis Immortal is broken. Arbeck's running back out to the cover of BKB, but the Aegis Immortal is spun. A perfect Nova. No one's nearby to help it out. Crystal Maiden's trying, but MP protected by the low sword, but you still get the Supernova egg off into the Sunray. DJ, he's finally cleaning up these back lines. And where's your damage output from complexity? It needs to come, but the Monkey Kings are set up towards the air without BKB. He's never-endingly controlled. He actually looks for the dodge and death. A great double Stormbolt, but he's lost his Monkey King. He'll TP out. No, he won't. The Frostbite from Jabs just coming off cooldown to connect on his target. And the man who did so much work will be the last one to die for complexity. Z-Freak will fall.